In this video, I'm going to talk about some Terraform commands and then lifecycle rules, and then we're going to discuss data source block. So let's do that. So we already applied Terraform apply command. So if I run, if I want to see the status, I can run the command Terraform show. So you're going to see the resources the Terraform created. So it gets from this tf state file. So you can see everything, outputs and everything. So this is how you can do. If you want to see this in JSON format, you can do -JSON as well. So this way you can get this in JSON format. If you want to check the validation, so the configuration file validation, for instance, if I go to this local file, instead of this number, if I put something in a text, if I run the command terraform validate, so this way you can look for syntax errors by using terraform validate command. Of course, it's not going to check some logical values, but it's going to look for basic syntax thing. So you can have a look on here on main.tf file on line number 25. You got this one. So you can go to that line and then you can correct it. So if I do 77 and then terraform validate again. Now this way you can see the configuration validation. So if you want to format it, for instance, if you have some space in here, some space in here, and then you got something in here as well. Let's put maybe in other in terraform vars, for instance. If I done this one, so if I want to align in same line, if I want to make, because we the code should be readable, right? So if you look in here, if you have multiple resource blocks by this indentation, it's hard to read, right? So simply you can run the command terraform fmt, that's a format. So that's gonna align everything. So you can see it changed these main.tf and terraform.tfrs as well. So that's how you can run terraform fmt command to format it. And then if you want to see the providers, you can see terraform. Of course, you can run terraform init command. So you can have a look on here as well. But the simple way, you can run the command terraform providers. So you can see providers here. And then if you want to see output variables, what you can do, you can run the command terraform output. So this way you can see outputs. And then if you want to see specifically this VPC ID, then you can run terraform output and then output name. That's a VPC ID. So that's how you can do. So when it comes to life cycles, so if I go back to, if I change this subnet side to, for instance, 1 to 2.0, so if I run the command terraform apply again, so if you press yes, so before pressing yes, if you look in here, it's gonna destroy first and then it's gonna create it. So first it's gonna delete the subnet and it's gonna then it's gonna create. Sometimes we don't want to destroy this resource first. So if you want to create this before destroying, what you can do, you can use the lifecycle policy in here. So before that, what you can do, let's go to our configuration file and then use lifecycle in here inside this resource block. Life cycle, then you can use create before destroy equal to true. So if you put that, then rerun that terraform apply again. Now you can see one to add, one to destroy, and then now it's creating first, then it's deleting. So let's press yes. Then before that, let's go to VPC, then get this VPC ID, and then let's filter that via a subnet in here. So that's a VPC equal to ID and then enter. So we got only one subnet. So if I come back and press yes, so now let's see if I refresh it. Now you can see one more subnet. Now you got only one because it's deleted that subnet and recreated it. So first it deleted it, first it's created, then it's deleted. That's how you can use this lifecycle, create before destroy. And then let's create a security group here. So for instance, if I do resource AWS security group and then name, let's say Terraform SZ, then it's gonna expect VPC ID. So what you can do, if you don't know how to do, let's jump back AWS security group and Terraform. Let's go to this official document. While learning Terraform, don't use ChatGPT or any generative AI, because once you understand these fundamentals, then you can use ChatGPT to simplify your task. So if you scroll down, you can see the resource AWS security group, and it expects VPC ID and then name. So you can give tags as well if you want. So let's do that, and then you can create some outbound rules, that's egress, and then you can say ingress for inbound rules. So let's do that. So let's get this one egress. So I'm gonna give the VPC ID AWS VPC prod VPC dot ID, and the name I'm gonna give Terraform SZ. So let's use tags as well just to identify, and then let's give this value. So an egress, that's fine. Let's add one ingress as well. So ingress, so instead of egress, let's say ingress, and now run the command terraform apply again. Now press yes. It's gonna add one to change and one to add, so that's from our subnet, that's fine. Let's press yes. Now let's go back to your security group. On the left side you can see security groups. Let's look for terraform SZ. So we got that. So we got one inbound rule and then one outbound rules. So in inbound rules, you can see all inbound from IPv4 and v6. So for instance, if I come back here, so if I change it, if I open port, some specific port, for instance, if I open SSH port from anywhere, so let's save it. And then if I come back and if I run Terraform apply again, so Terraform thinks that okay, the user defined only inbound rules, all inbound rule from IPv4 and IPv6, but at the AWS end someone changed it, so Terraform is going to roll back those changes. So it says to change. So if you press yes, and then if you come back here, if you go to that Terraform group, open that, if you check in inbound rule, you don't have that rule, that rule, because you apply Terraform apply again. So in Terraform configuration file, we don't have that port open, port 22 in here in the definition file. So it thinks that it's going to try to revert it back. Then how are you going to avoid this? So because developers while working, they don't want to come back to the DevOps team to open these ports, because sometimes they're testing something. So they talk to us, okay, whenever we change any open ports on the security groups, we have changed something, whether it could be security group or any other thing. So they don't want to roll back to the previous changes. So in that case, what you can do, you can use the lifecycle rule, ignore changes. So in a resource block, you can use the lifecycle. Let's say ignore changes. So what you want to ignore, if you want to ignore tags, so you can do. So I want to ignore all. It could be ports or anything, tags, it doesn't matter. So I just want to ignore it. So if I run Terraform apply again, so it says ignore all. The object has no argument, okay, because it's not going to list. So just put all. Of course, you can give it a list if you have multiple values you want to change. So I want to apply it for all, so I'm just going to give it all. So if I press yes, now this has been done. Now if I go to this AWS console, and then if I open any ports, for instance, let's open MySQL port and then SSH port in the console. So let's give it. So this can be applied to other resources as well. So if I add Terraform apply again, so want to change, so that's because of tags, subnet tags, that's fine. If I press yes, so if I go back and if I refresh it here, still I can see those rules because I asked Terraform to ignore that. So So that's how we can use Terraform ignore changes. And then we got one more. So remember that we got this in this one, and then create before destroy, and then one more you can say prevent destroy. So imagine you have a database. So if someone tries to run any Terraform applied commands, and then if they want to try to delete it, so if you want to prevent it, you can do prevent destroy. So if I run the command, if I try to delete this the resource Terraform destroy for all the resources, not specific one, just no change. That's fine. So if I try to Terraform, now you can see it's giving a warning. An instance cannot be destroyed on the resource main.tf on line number 24. You got has a lifecycle policy prevent destroy. So this is how you can prevent accidental destroys as well. So these are the lifecycle rules we usually use. So these three of them. So I'm just gonna comment this and then Terraform apply it, delete test icon, whatever you want to do. So what I'm going to do now, so let's discuss data source block. So what is data source block? So we have this VPC. So if I go in here in subnets, maybe we have this AWS B10 VPC. We created this in console. So if I want to add any subnets, if I want to create any resource inside this VPC, Terraform doesn't know, because Terraform only knows from the configuration files, and whenever you run Terraform apply, it creates state file. So it's going to look into the state file. So if it checks in a state file, it doesn't have that VPC. So if I want to create a subnet inside that VPC, how can I do that? So what you can do, you can use a data source block. So if I run you need to just define data, and then data block is AWS underscore VPC, and then open, and then what you can do, you can it's going to expect ID, so you can give it some ID, and then you need to give resource name as well, the data. So I'm going to say AWS B10 VPC. So if you don't know what arguments it takes the VPC, then you can jump into documentation, say AWS VPC data source Terraform, click go to official docs, and then here check in here data block and the VPC, and then give it a data source name, and then it expects ID. So that's what we're gonna give. So here in ID, I'm gonna get this one from console. So that's this is the VPC ID. So that slider range is 192.168.0.0. That's fine. You can give it as a variable as well. So I'm just need to do that. And then if you want to create a subnet, what you can do, let's create a resource block, and then AWS subnet. So let's say AWS B10 subnet, the resource name, and then here you can give VPC ID. So now you can difference this to data dot AWS VPC, the resource type, and then resource name, and then from that you can expect the attribute ID, and then side of block. What you can do, you can get this from console, you can have a look, otherwise you can run from the say once you run this apply, you can see this in the state file as well. So I'm gonna say, for instance, maybe 22.0/24. So let's give some tags as well. So name AWS B10 Terraform. So I'm just gonna grab this one and then give that in tags all as well. Now run the command Terraform apply, press yes, and then let's filter subnets with VPC ID. So that's VPC equal to this ID. Let's refresh it. Now you can see this AWS B10 Terraform, you got it. So that's how you can use data block. So if you run Terraform destroy, So it's not gonna delete that VPC because we just use its data. So that's only, this is only for reading, so not writing things. So if you want to write it, you need to import it. So we're gonna see that in later lectures. But in our case, we just it gives us a read permission, so you can read that VPC. But if you run Terraform desktop, you can't delete this VPC by using data block. So remember that. So press yes, then it's gonna delete the VPCs, other VPC and subnets, but not this VPC. But it's gonna delete this subnet only because we created that subnet from Terraform only by using Terraform. So that's how we can use data block. So that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching.